Libra, I am not sure what happened. I sat down to do a reading today for a totally different sign and ended up doing another love reading for the sign of Libra. I didn't even realize it until I got to the end of the reading. I started packing my cards up and I thought, wait a minute, did I just do another reading for Libra? Yep, sure enough, I did. So I'm just going to put this reading out here in the world as a bonus reading. I figure there's somebody that really needs to hear this message. And so, yeah, here's your bonus reading, your bonus love reading for January 2021. I must be obsessed with your sign this month. Hey Libra, welcome to your love reading for January 2021. I can't believe we're in January already. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. I'm Amanda at Lunasync Tarot. If you're returning, thanks for coming back. These readings, I hope, will support you in heightening your awareness around your situation, deepening your understanding, and kind of supporting you in whatever action is appropriate for you at this time. So I've been shuffling your cards off camera. I'm going to give it one last shuffle. We'll split the deck 3 ways and we will sync up. This is for Libra Love January 2021. Okay, that's always hard when the year changes. I split the deck 3 ways and this card for some reason was in the upright on the middle pile. So Ace of Wands, a fiery, passionate, creative new beginning. Who doesn't want that for the new year, right? All right. So in the position of you and what you're bringing to the table is the 7 of Pentacles. Really looking at the work that you've done so far here where it comes to this connection. I feel like you have put a lot of work in and now you're wondering like, am I going to get my return? Am I going to get the return on investment that I'm hoping for? Really studying this, studying what you've done, how hard you've worked. You're sort of looking at your harvest. What is your potential harvest? And wondering, there is that question like, I put a lot of work in here. Am I going to get my due rewards, my just rewards? In the position of your connection, who you're thinking about in January, is the 4 of Swords. Some sort of distance, some sort of separation, a period of recuperation and recovery. So this often comes back. This often comes up as a result of some sort of emotional hardship felt on the mental plane and the emotional plane, right? It follows the 3 of Swords. You can see 3 swords here pointing directly at the heart. The 3 of Swords in this deck shows 3 swords piercing a heart. So this is the 4 of Swords. It follows the 3 of Swords. There's been some sort of emotional disappointment, hardship, betrayal. This person now is taking the time out to recuperate and recover and sort of process that. I'm going to put this Ace of Wands that popped up over to the side. In the combined energies, we have the Empress. Okay, beautiful. Nurturing something to its fullest potential. So that is what's on the table. When the 2 of you come together, that is either the question or the opportunity, the possibility or the potential. There is an opportunity or the potential to nurture this connection to a greater potential, to its fullest potential. The insight, 10 of Pentacles, yeah. So what we have here, so this is the 10. It is the final card in the suit. So it's about finality, but it's also about generational wealth. It follows the Ace of Pentacles, which is the seed of something real, the seed that has potential to grow into something truly abundant that not only serves you, but also serves the greater community. So the insight is that I feel when I'm looking at these cards that this connection really has the potential to grow into something that's solid, that's real, that's abundant. It has the potential to provide for you, provide for your connection, provide for the greater community, potentially provide for your family. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential here. We have the Empress and the 10 of Pentacles coming up in combined energy and the insight around the connection. There is a question on your part of like, I'm really studying this thing, this pentacles. There's 2 pentacles here. I'm really studying this thing. Waiting. This is a card of waiting as well. Waiting to see what ripens, what fruit, what harvest comes from this seed that I planted and nurtured, just like the Empress nurtures things to its fullest potential. And this is really curious to me. This is a distance, a separation, a time out. It's also a recuperation and a recovery period. There may be silence between you and your partner right now because of some sort of emotional disappointment, emotional hardship. Doesn't necessarily have to be a betrayal, though often people will read it as such, because the 3 of Swords is a sort of betrayal felt in the heart space. But there is a timeout, a separation of some sort. I'm going to use this new deck that my mother gave me last night. I have not ever even heard of this deck or seen this deck. It's Rose Monaco Tarot. So we're going to clarify with this new deck. It's really quite beautiful. I'll show you. Ooh, Ace of Cups. A new emotional beginning. A new beginning in love. Okay, my dear, so let's clarify. I want to clarify you. I want to clarify them. We're going to look at challenges and opportunities where this relationship is concerned. I really am very interested in knowing what is going on with your connection due to the fact that the 4 of Swords showed up. They also may be recovering from some sort of illness. It's recuperation, sort of rehab. So let's look at you first. The 7 of Pentacles, really studying what your efforts will yield. I've put the work in. I've planted the seed. I've sowed the seed. I've nurtured the seed, the plant, the young seedling to its fullest potential here. Oh, King of Swords. Wow. There is a real need for clarity and some sort of truth here. There's a speaking of your truth with confidence and clarity. The King of Swords. It could be that, okay, so here we have the 4 of Swords in the position of your connection. The King of Swords came out to clarify the 7 of Pentacles, which is you and what you're bringing to the table. It could be that there was some decision, heart over head decision that was made, or some truth that was spoken, that was verbalized, that was really just about like, this is what I see. I gathered the facts. I'm sharing with you the facts. And this is just like straight up. I'm giving you this information straight up. And it's, which is, you know, there's no judgment there. That is one way of delivering information, but it's not necessary. It's not soft and fuzzy, right? It's not delivered in an emotional way. And there is some sort of divorce from the emotions around this delivery of this communication. The swords are about communication, about clarity, about truth, about facts, analytical, logical, systematic, right? Using your intellect over your emotion. So you're looking at the work that you've put in. I almost feel like you're kind of like, with your love connection, hey, listen, I've put a lot of work into this, and I'm investing quite a bit into this connection. And I need you to show up for me. Like, it's like delivery time, right? Because she's waiting for her harvest. Put a lot of work in here. Now I need to see results. It's almost like you delivered that type of message to your connection and they were like, oop, time out, right? That's too harsh for me. That's too much reality, too much truth. I need a timeout. I need to take a break. I need to like process this. And you delivered that information in a very powerful way. King of Swords does not F around, right? Whenever the King of Swords speaks, you know you get the truth. It might not feel awesome to hear, but you know it's the truth. And this person knows it's the truth as well. I feel like the truth kind of like pierced them, right? The truth pierced them in such a way where they were like, shut down, right? Because look how shut down this person is. It's almost like a forced separation. Like the system shut down as a result of hearing this truth that you delivered around this issue of like, hey, we put a lot of work into this. I put a lot of work into this, and I need to start seeing results. I need to see you show up. I need to see my return on investment. Ultimatum. It might have been an ultimatum, like, hey, show me the goods. Show me my ROI, or, you know, we need to take a different direction here. Let's look at your partner. Your partner has the Four of Swords, and what they're bringing to the table, the energy they're bringing to the table. What is this Four of Swords about? For Libra's connection. January 2021. I got it right that time. What is this? Recuperation, this recovery, silence, separation, no communication. You know, like I said, the Swords really is about communication, clarity, vocalizing, a lot of talking. It's the suit of the, it's a suit of air. So if you know air signs, they do quite a bit of talking. They're very articulate. Very articulate. Very sharp mentally. Ooh, King of Cups. Very interesting. So to clarify you, we got the King of Swords. To clarify your connection, we have the King of Cups. They certainly have a lot of love for you. And they are deep in their feels. There is some sort of emotional rectification that is occurring for them. Like how a time out in order to process their emotions, to process their feelings, so that they can get back into balance with their emotions. King of Cups is very compassionate. Also, somebody who's advanced in their years or very mature, and particularly emotionally mature. So there's this, I feel, a need for your connection to really get back into this balanced place with their emotions, so that they can come at this connection from their native energy, which is that of generosity and compassion and love. They act from their heart, like they use their emotions and their heart to guide them, to lead them, to make decisions. Not like the King of Swords. The King of Swords uses his mind, his intellect, his logic, his ability to analyze. He's very analytical. These two are opposites, I have to say. And that might be your challenge here in this connection. I see you as very practical, very hardworking. You do want to see the results of your labor. And I think that is particularly true where this connection is concerned, even in the matters of the heart, even in the matter of love. You want to see your return on investment. You work very hard. You invest quite a lot. Your investment is significant. And you're coming at this from a place of like, hey man, like these are the facts. These are the facts. And I need to see this. So it's like A, B, C, D, E, like lining up the facts and delivering the facts. And however that the facts were delivered, I do feel like it caused your connection to take a break. Like, whoa, that is a lot of truth you just laid on me. And I need a time out to process this and to get back into balance, emotional balance. So moving on, there is this opportunity for you to nurture this connection to its fullest potential, right? It's harmony, it's abundance. This connection has great possibility. There needs to be some sort of like new beginning between the two of you that comes from a place of unified passion and creativity. It could be two working together on a project, having a singular objective that you two can rally around. And that might be the turning point for the connection, taking it from the Four of Swords energy into a more balanced place, having shared objective. That's the word I'm trying to find here. Limitations. Limitations. Self-imposed restrictions, constraints, materialism, fear-based thoughts. That is the challenge to overcome. This clarified the Empress. There is the potential to bring this thing to its fullest, nurture it to its fullest potential. There are limitations to overcome. And they're felt up here. They're self-imposed. This is like the Eight of Swords energy here. Somebody feels trapped, mentally trapped. They're not actually trapped. They're not physically bound, but they are mentally trapped. And that's almost even more difficult to overcome because it's so ephemeral, and it has to do with fears and anxieties and worries and concerns. And, you know, you can't see them, you can only feel them, and you feel them in your mind, you feel them in your heart. And so there is the challenge for this connection is to overcome some self-imposed limitations, and it has to do with your thoughts, the way that you think, the way that you're thinking about you or them or both of you, the way that you're thinking about what is actually possible for this connection. That is not a surprise to see. When you get inside of relationships, it brings up, you know, it's the most intimate a relationship that you can have in your life. And it brings up a lot of baggage, right? To sort out and to work through. A lot of fear-based thoughts. So you do have some significant challenges to overcome in order to bring this connection to the next level. The groundwork is here. The groundwork is here for that to happen. The potential is here for that to happen, but there are challenges to overcome. Oh gosh. Hey, these cards are going all over the place. Tell us more about what needs to happen, what are some of the challenges, what needs to be overcome in order to take this connection to the next level here. You both are like in your power. Like you both probably are leaders in whatever way. Because he's showing up as the King of Cups and you're showing up as the King of Swords, both upright. So when you come together, you're both in that sort of emperor energy, that leadership boss energy. It's just really interesting. Do you feel like it was your connection that stepped away from the connection because there was something said that they just felt like they couldn't process or hear? And there's a consideration like, is it time to move on? It's a walking away of something that brought emotional fulfillment. Fear is a big factor here. Fear is playing a big part in this connection. Somebody couldn't hear the truth. Like you delivered the truth. Yeah. Balance, moderation. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love these cards. I love the colors and the design and the imagery. Your partner, your connection, stepped away in order to find some sort of balance, emotional balance. Some moderation, bringing moderation back to the connection so that the connection can thrive in that sort of more equal, balanced way. Your connection might also be a therapist type individual, somebody who is a counselor, somebody who gives advice around matters of the heart or psychological support in some way. School counselor, could be just a therapist, a psychologist, or it could just be, you know, like that is their native energy. That's who they are, and people gravitate toward them for that type of support. Whatever role they assume, they do understand the importance of balance and moderation in order to maintain their own energy, in order to get reconnected with their heart. They do understand that the place for solitude and separation in order to process difficult emotions, and somebody here is stepping away from something that brings them emotional fulfillment in order to process this truth that I feel like you are bringing forward about the relationship, about the connection. Oh, here we go. Oh, beautiful. But listen, there is a lot of love. There is a lot of love between the two of you. We have the Lovers. No doubt. And there will be forward movement. I really feel like this thing that your connection is doing is the emotionally mature thing to do. They are doing this because they need to do it in order to get back into balance with who they really are and how they really feel. There will be forward movement. There was emotional disappointment, a sense of loss, and a period of time where they're just looking at what was lost, right? Without looking at what is still there. But that's part of the healing process. You know, you got to be with your emotional disappointment instead of stuffing it, right? And acting as if it doesn't exist. There will be a reconnection. If you are in separation, there will be a reunion, a reconnection. This is a past love coming back around. It's a progression from sort of this emotional disappointment to this feeling of like, oh, okay. It's like reconnecting, revisiting a love connection. Two of Pentacles. Some sort of choice as a result. Some sort of choice, some sort of opportunity. Taking the Ace of Pentacles to the next level, that new beginning, where something real is concerned, something tangible is concerned. Taking it to the next level. Sort of like assessing it, very much like how you're doing here in this energy that you brought forward in the beginning. Assessing it. Making a choice, making a decision. And that is really what you wanted to begin with, right? That's the energy you came full force out with in the beginning. Like, hey, I've been working on this and I need to know where you stand. I need to know if my investment of time, energy, and resources into this connection is going to reap a reward, reap a harvest. That's the question that finally will be answered. You will come back around to this. There's a period of separation and silence and solitude, and I really feel like it's because your connection needs an opportunity to process this truth that you came forward with in a very like focused, strong, clear way. King of Swords energy, like I'm speaking my truth. and it is with confidence, and it is straightforward, and it's clear cut. And I need to say this to you. And so they're taking a time out to process this truth. There's fears at work here in your connection. There certainly is potential. The fears are the challenge. There is potential to take this relationship to the fullest, I want to say fullest extreme. That doesn't sound right. This relationship, this connection has the potential to grow into something long-lasting that generates abundance for you and your connection and your family and your community. Like, this is like a solid relationship that lasts the test of time. There's potential there for that. There's limitations where it comes to the way that, like baggage from the past, self-limiting beliefs, all the stuff that happens in the mind. It's sort of a mental trap, fears and anxieties, the things that we all have, right? That's the challenge to be overcome. A new way of thinking is on the horizon for you. I feel like once your connection comes back around, processes this thing, gets back in touch with the way that they feel, there's an opportunity to look at this in a totally new way. By the way, there's 2 aces here, so new beginnings. What's called for is a new way of thinking about this connection and some sort of thing, an organizing principle, a shared objective that will get you back on track with one another. And it could be like a project and a new, something that you're both sort of passionate about that brings your creativity into play. You're starting to work together, and it kind of gets you back on track. There's a lot of love here. There is movement forward. There's movement forward in this connection. This is a past life relationship. Maybe you two have come back around with each other time and time again in this lifetime, or you've been soulmates in past lifetimes, but this is a connection that feels very familiar to you, that feels, the relationship feels very familiar, and that you revisit it time and time again. Somebody had to walk away, and it was probably very difficult because it wasn't as if this connection wasn't bringing them great emotional fulfillment and happiness. It really was more of like a thoughtful, intentional stepping away from the connection in order, like I said, to process these emotions. These emotions, somebody felt emotional disappointment, like, oh shit, this is lost, But there is a reunion, a revisiting of this connection. And then finally, a decision. A tangible, real decision that you can work with, that you can see, touch, hear, taste. It's very sensorial. It's a real decision. It's a decision around something very real, like a new home, let's move in together. Yes, let's take this to the next level. And it looks like this. These are the steps, and this is how it will be in reality, in the 3D. So at the end of this, whatever that means, there is a decision that needs to be made. Weighing the pros and cons. Okay. I'm liking this new deck. Let's pull some cards of advice for you, Libra, as you move through this connection in January. Advice for Libra. Because what are you to do as your partner? What are you to do as your partner takes this time out? The energies could be switched. Maybe it's you taking the time out. Maybe you resonate more with this other side of the reading. But somebody took a time out. And what are you to do? What is the other person to do then? Beyond illusion. I think you hold tight. Allow your connection the time and space that they need to process this and to get back in touch with how they feel. Because there is Achievement, this is the World card in the traditional deck. This is taking, it's a cosmic leveling up. It's taking it to the next level. And I think that this is a phase in the development of your relationship that if you allow the space and you allow the time and you step back, there's a great opportunity for your relationship to advance, to move from one phase to another. Combined energy, nurturing something to its fullest potential. Insight, 10 of Pentacles. This is like generational wealth. It's like complete and total abundance. It's like the, you know, the thing that you want at the end of your life, the thing that you want for your relationship. You know, having shared objectives, shared goals, and achieving those for your relationship and for your family, right? And then this World card, Beyond Illusion, taking it to the next level, freedom, achievement, victory. So hold tight, my friend. Give the space to whoever needs it, if it's you or if it's them. There needs to be space given in order for, I don't know, just this stuff to be processed. All right, one more card of advice for you, Libra. That was a Major Arcana card coming out for guidance for you. It's really beautiful. Card of advice for Libra. Guidance and advice. Libra, if this reading is resonating, please hit the like button so that it can be circulated amongst others. And if you're interested in going deeper with this connection or with whatever's happening for you in your life, I'm doing personal readings, so the link is below in the description box. What we have here is the Hawk. Now, it came out in reverse. So let's read about Hawk in reverse. Where did I put my book? I think it's down here. Yes. Okay. Messenger. I'm going to hold it up I'm going to put it in the upright so that you can see it, the details of it, but just know it came out in reverse. If you've drawn Hawk reversed, it may be because you have shut down your powers of observation on some level. If something in your life has become too painful to feel, too unbearable to hear, or too dark to see, and that is exactly what is coming out on the part of your connection, but it could be you as well. Something was too painful to hear. Some truth came out that they were like, shut down. It is time to examine the point at which you chose to let yourself become emotionally involved and to no longer be the observer. When you allow your emotions to override your perceptions, the message from Hawk cannot penetrate the chaos and confusion. At this point, you're asked to be mindful of the honest observer's neutral position, which allows the message to be intuitively and clearly understood without emotion coloring its true meaning. The King of Swords delivers information in exactly that way, right? And the King of Swords expects that you will receive that information in the way that this describes. Clearly understood, without emotion, coloring its true meaning. The King of Swords wants you to really understand what he's saying. He does feel like emotion colors the truth. Emotional coloring is a tendency of Hawk medicine people when they are off balance. Their emotions cloud their vision and lead to a crash landing. The ego can clip the wings and leave Hawk grounded. Also, if Hawk believes that those who cannot fly the same way he or she does have weaker perceptions, then the winged messenger has not. Winged messenger. Let me reread that sentence. Also, if Hawk believes that those who cannot fly the same way he or she does have weaker perceptions, then the winged messenger has not understood his or her own medicine. Freedom of flight is a privilege, and being a messenger is an honor. The responsibility for delivery of the message is up to you. Okay, well, there's so much here about this truth being delivered. So many messages here. Take your flight and forget about interpreting the omen your own way. Let the receiver decide what the message means. After all, unless it was sent specifically for you, you would be tampering. Hawk in the contrary position teaches you to 1. Open up to the powers of observation. 2. Not to tell others how to think or behave. 3. To take your own emotional baggage before you begin receiving omens, visions, or messages. To take care of your own emotional baggage. Sorry. And then number 4, to remember that all gifts are equal in the eyes of Great Spirit. Wow. So there's so many messages here about delivering your truth. I'm getting like jazzed up. I can't speak now. Somebody delivered a hard truth. There's a call for whoever delivered that truth to allow the other person to interpret it in the way that they need to interpret it, to understand it in the way that they need to understand it, and to let go. No judgment here about this other person if they are doing it in the way that you would like them to, if they understand it in the way that you would like it to. You spoke your truth. They have their responsibility to understand it in the way that they're going to understand it. And you have to do this kind of thing. Like, okay, I surrender to that. There's also a feeling here of like, no, listen, I told you this truth and you're taking it in a way that I didn't mean. I need you to understand it in the way that I meant it. And yet we have no control over that. We have limited control over that. When we speak our truth, when we deliver what we think is the truth, that is the point. That is the thing that we need to do. And it stops there. Like our responsibility stops there because it is we can't control how people perceive that. We can't control what they do with that information. And so there's this sort of like, okay, surrender to that fact, to that reality that you did speak your truth. I feel like it needed to be spoken. You needed to speak it. Sometimes when we speak our truth, it results in realities that we didn't intend. We did not intend for that to happen when we said the thing that we needed to say. But that's part of the process. And though it may be painful, there is a call for a surrender, to surrendering control around it, right? Hawk. All right, Libra. I'm wishing you the best in January 2021. I'm wishing you the best in this connection, and I hope you take really good care.